Welcome back to Finnegan's Farm, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the videos and comment if you want, and we will get back to you. So in for repair today we have a Bargam sprayer, and we also have a Heva Disc Roller. On the Bargam sprayer now we have exhaust manifold bolts which are sheared on it, so the lads are there, Kaylem has come up and they're going to do a complete going to show you how to get the studs out, and hopefully we get the manifold back on with gaskets intact, and that should solve the problem. So we'll head over to Mick and Kaylem there now. We have problems here with the manifold gasket on our Bargam sprayer now. It was creating a little bit of noise, really down on power, and really got worse there in the last couple of weeks, so we decided we'd bring it in just to investigate. Now, it's never an easy job when you do that with manifold gasket, bolts more so than we took the manifold off, but unfortunately we rung a couple of bolts in the procedure as well. How many? Five, Mick.
Yeah. And they're hardened judging by the drilling.
Would have been an easier option maybe to cut the heads off them and pull the manifold off.
That's what Kaylem was saying.
Yeah, we probably.
Hindsight's always wonderful.
Hindsight is a great thing, but
no matter what way you go at this, you're going to get torture. That's just the way it is with head bolts or manifold bolts.
Yeah, because they generally have a lot of crap on them, and
well, you have a lot of heat going. You have 500-600 degrees probably. Actually, I'd think up to 1,000 on the exhaust side of a turbo. So it gets very hot, gets very cold, and a lot of corrosion. You can see it there on the bolts.
Have we got any of the bolts out?
There's a few of the old ones. You can see them there. They're fairly.
So as you can see here, threads are nearly completely stripped off them.
And you can see the ones that sheared.
Really gassed up and welded.
Reduced, and that wasn't from. I don't think that happened when it sheared.
Yeah,
I'd say it was
burnt out. Yeah. So in that case, then we have to see, can we get the remaining bolts out? Now, the top one is not too bad because we can drill through on both of them, can't we?
Yes. It's hollow at the back.
It's hollow at the back, yeah.
So we can go through. Like, unfortunately, you can't put nuts on the bottom. You could on the top if you were stuck. If the thread's ripped out of it, because you've enough room there by the looks of it to get nuts in there if you had to.
Yeah.
But the bottom, no.
So what's the plan?
Well, we try drilling it and see.
Any special? You see a lot of lads. I presume you've YouTubed and looked at a few lads doing different things on it. We see a lot of lads put the nuts.
But sure, we've been down this road countless occasions here before with manifolds.
Yeah.
Remember the 8410?
Yeah.
2 or 3 days getting 2 bolts out.
Yeah, it is a slow procedure, and we have.
Good man. Breaking the drill already. I'm using here it's out of a lathe. It's a pilot drill bit, but the advantage on it, you have a very narrow tip to get started, but you don't get wobble.
Yeah.
And you can push like you can push like hell on it, and it doesn't snap the bit.
Yeah, so me and Mick have actually been drilling one here. He needed a bit of horsepower to push the back of the drill.
You need a lot. They are hard.
Yeah, they're hard bits.
Because that's new.
Yeah, but it has travelled through it fairly well. We probably will drill it right through and use an easy out then.
Yeah. Well, Kaylem was saying to take it out, that's 10mm thread, so take it out maybe 7. And then the remaining bit, try and burn it out. Heat it and soften it and chip it out.
I keep that.
I can imagine here now there'll be multiplicity of different approaches.
Yeah, well, so if you want to put it into the comments below, I presume
any help, much appreciated.
Much appreciated. Much if the help was here rather than in the.
Yeah. No, I think everyone knows this job is one of the torturous ones.
Yeah, there's loads of different ways on YouTube and different ways of getting them out.
But whatever works, we'll go for.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll have to take the head off. Is that?
Hopefully not. See, I need to clean it to put a straight edge on it. The manifold is not bad. I'm getting up to 0.2 of a mil distortion. Kaylem's reckon we're okay up to a millimetre. So I'm a fifth of what?
Yeah, so you're not too bad. So if it was the case that was distortion, that you could take a head off, turn it up and down and drill down, you probably would get them out simple like that. But we don't want to be going down that road. So we're on day 2 here of the Bargam. Mick has exited the scene. I don't know, and we've introduced a new guy into the job. Yeah. Probably someone we'll know from previous videos. Kaylem, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good to see you back.
I know, it's good to be back.
Yeah, so look, we want to just give Mick a bit of moral support here, and I gave Kaylem a ring the other day. He says, look, be up to there one of the days. You're actually doing a head the very same as this at home, aren't you?
Yeah, so this will be regarded as an alliance engine, so Iveco, FPT, Cummins, not say they're working together, but working in partnership. So basically this head is similar to a 5.9 Cummins, if not the exact same head. So doing one at home, and it's in worse of a state than this one. So it's
we don't feel too bad then.
no. So it doesn't seem that bad of a job.
Yeah, I was with Mick yesterday, and we did drill one. We got one out with the drill and took that out. We're down to actually 2 here now.
Yeah.
But we do see with the last one that we took out, actually the threads are stripped in a hurry, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I have M10 helicoils.
So explain a helicoil, because people here won't know what a helicoil is.
So what a helicoil is, so you're on a bolt, you have a standard thread pitch. So an M10 is 1.5 millimeters.
Yeah.
So what this is, you drill it to a bigger diameter, and it has a 1.5 millimeter thread pitch. So you tap it to that, and you're inserting a 1.5 mil thread. When the outside it could be closer to M11, but the inside is, you bring it back to standard.
Yeah, so it just gives you back a thread in fairness.
Yeah, so you can stick with the standard bolts. And then if that, it should work, but if it doesn't for some reason, then we have M12 helicoils as well.
Yeah, because there's no facility to put a nut around in the back of them, there's nowhere to do anything like that.
No. And it's common on these as well for the actual lugs on the top to break off, and you still have all them, but when you go tapping, that's when you could start seeing problems. But we shouldn't have that, run into that sort of an issue. But if we do, we'll have to make up a bracket. But
yeah, well, you will see plenty of videos on the YouTube, a complete video actually, maybe of guys trying to take the bolts out, because it's a major problem. This could take up to days. In fact, couldn't it? You've often seen it where, you know, you might get the helicoil in, and then problem might have occur where you could actually crack the lug as well on it. Or you're making brackets at the back of it too.
Yeah. So you can run into all sorts of problems. And look, on these, if you broke 1 or 2, it could be a day's work. But I mean, do we have in total 5, 4?
Yeah, well,
4 or 5.
Yeah, you got 2 out yesterday, I think. You got 1 this morning, there's 3, and there's 2 more, it's 5 in total.
Yeah.
Well, that one there is a little bit left on it, so it still might come. But as you said, the last one, even though it did come, the threads were kind of.
Yeah, so the threads pulled on the last one.
Pulled on it.
But we got the stud out, which is the biggest part of it. So if the threads come with us or not, it doesn't really matter. We can
just check on a manifold here for distortion, and see is there much different. This is the one actually, Kaylem, that it was blowing on, was this outside one here. Now the handiest way to check all this is
a straight edge. So the wire brush the whole surface, and we have a lovely machine straight edge here. And there's no point in, well, you can show it on camera, but we have no gap at all from cylinder 1 to 4. So that it's absolutely perfect there. But as we go out to 5 and 6, that's when we can start putting feeler blades in, so we can measure the distortion.
And what would tolerances be on what would you get away with generally?
Like ideally 0,
which we're not going to get,
which we don't have. But ideally, you can work with up to nearly 2 mil. So now purely by adding different thicknesses of gaskets on different sides. So we have these steel ones here. And we're going to use 2 gaskets, and I'm going to put the flat edge towards the manifold and the flat edge towards the head, and basically these 2 steel ribs, they're going to sandwich together, and that's what will make up for the difference in tolerance. So as it's tighter here and more of a gap here, hopefully them there should make up the gap. And what are we measuring there with a feeler blade, Mick?
And between 0.6 and 1. I was just going for a small.
So call it 0.75.
Something like that. Well, we got some.
So it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. In an ideal world it should be 0, and we still have to check the distortion on the head, which is nearly most important. But we need to get the rest of the studs in and get cleaned up.
You can get this obviously skimmed and getting it.
Yeah, so the manifold itself is
the easy bit.
But say if we have the 0.75 here and go onto the head, and then we have 1 mil, then
we're in a bit of trouble then.
Let's tighten at 0.7.
So we'll just put the gaskets on and tighten it up, and just to see.
Yeah, and if it starts blowing again, there's no point in considering going back into the job without getting at least the manifold skimmed. But we'll measure it anyways, and we'll see if the head potentially has to be skimmed in the future.
So if it is going, it's probably more important to get it seen as quick as possible.
Because it's not going to get any better, because if it's distorted, it's likely to break the bolts, and when it breaks the bolts, that's when it distorts at its worst, and it'll keep getting worse and worse, and the gap will keep getting bigger and distort the head, because all the heat's going external as well. So it's not, depending on what's beside it as well is important, because I know on different tractors and whatnot, you have airlines and whatnot that are near enough for wiring looms even.
That could blow and heat them up.
It would make a mess of the tractor. So
we just found really, well, obviously it was gone, the noise of it was enough, but the power on the machine completely.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of tractors now with leaking exhaust manifolds, and you wouldn't say it would
Make a
massive
huge
difference in power, which it would, but nothing major now. But we'll get this end of it right, because the whole thing is a black mess and carbon leaking. And
well,
it's not nice to listen to.
No, it's not very.
Because you just heard a pop of it going out. It's probably that last one there is where it was leaking at its worst.
Yeah, it'd be all right maybe in a younger man's car, maybe it'd be that.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, you like to have loads of knives coming out the exhaust, but not in this case.
Yeah, you wanted it coming out at the end of the exhaust, not in the middle.
Yeah. So, right. Okay. Well, look, we've checked this, and hopefully we'll be able to get that back on and then check it. And I mean that'll be the telltale sign if we're going to have a leakage on it.
Yeah, we get all our studs right.
So, as regard getting parts for it, there are no problem getting parts?
No problem at all. So this engine is used in fast tracks, the Maxims, anything with the 5.9 Cummins. This is.
Do you find that steel gasket better than the halide that was on them?
Yeah, because with the steel ones, now the halide ones, they're a lot softer, but we've generally find with the steel ones are just better for.
Because the ones that were on it, they had no steel ring on the inside to stop burning out to the gasket.
Yeah. But this is what we've always fitted, and had good luck with. There's our brand new bolts as well.
So just ordinary mild steel bolts, they don't use anything?
No, ordinary 8.8.
8.8, so they,
Yeah. We're not using the likes of stainless or something like that. No,
but those things are in it, unless they're heat hardened from age hardened, they are hard.
Yeah, well, so look, when there's that much heat coming through them, I'd say over time they're going to get...
Any bolts that you ever try and drill out is never usually a nice job.
No, very hard to stay central.
Never mind when something's 17 or 18 years old as well. Doesn't help.
Right, well look, we'll crack on with that anyway, and we get it back on, we'll see how we go from there. I won't be able to get the fucking bottom. Right then. I should put it here, will I?
No, put it on the back. There's loads of slack in them. Do you want an extension or socket? I have one there.
Just get it that is where you stick to that hole. Sorry. I won't be able to get the fucking bottom. Right then.
That's a good box.
Actually, okay. The amount of fucking times I just drop it.
Big thumbs up.
There's one thing in a workshop that you always use plenty of, and that's nuts and bolts. Now, we're after getting a consignment in there from the bolt company. Yeah, look at, I suppose the most popular ones, Mick, here that run on the generally in the workshop, M8, M10, M12 would be our standard, wouldn't it?
6s we use quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
But they would be the norm.
So we generally go with maybe M8 by 30, 40, 50s. M10 can be the same, and M12 obviously a little bit longer. Now we also get our lock nuts for anyone with a lock nut. The difference of a lock nut and an ordinary nut is that you have a nylon inserted on the actual nut. And
generally they don't loosen.
In general they don't loosen.
No. And if you're stuck, there's a tip you can do. If you've used one and you want to put it back on, give that a few whacks of the hammer, the face of it, and it tightens in the nylock.
Right.
If you're stuck and you don't have one.
All the tricks are either a bit thread lock. I thought that might do the job. All our nuts and bolts in these little compartments. We've M8 by 30, 40s, 50s, M8 by 100s, nuts and lock nuts. So anything that's red will associate with an M8. So if you want to get an M8 bolt, you come across and get an M8 nut. Just leaves it very simple. It's all right for the lads in the workshop here, but sometimes the guys maybe they're out driving and they're coming in looking for a bolt. they're pulling one now and then they're putting it back. We find that this kind of simplifies it a little bit more, that they actually will take the bolt that they're looking for and they'll put it back if they have excess. In blue here we've M10 by 25 and so on, M by 60, and lock nuts and lock nuts plus washers as well. The yellows then are all M12s. We move over to M14, which wouldn't be mostly that popular, but it is getting a little bit more popular.
We do on some of the bigger stuff we do.
Yeah, M14.
And that.
And then the whites are an M16. We've M6 here in green, and then we've a different colour code system then for stainless steel. So look, it's just to keep it all simple and to keep them full then is the main thing, because you will use them and you'll use more than you think. So we just every so often, now it could be every 6 months, we will get a consignment in and Mark will pack them off, and then if we've got excess we will keep them in store and use them as we want. But yeah, nuts, bolts, washers, lock nuts, all very important, especially in here. We have our Terrace 6300 in. Fault code came up on the dash saying we had low air pressure. So just going to investigate it now to see what it is. We just took the guard off. Now, not the easiest thing to get in it, except these mud yards, at least it will retract out of the way and let you in. So if we can squeeze in here. Our problem is fairly obvious, because, get that light in here, there is actually no belt on the air compressor. It's just driven off the bottom pulley there on the engine, straight on the compressor. Now, it's not the first time we've seen this with this tractor. Has thrown it off before. What just concerns me there is just the wet and that around it, to see where that's coming from. So while we will get a belt for it, I think we just bring it out to the power washer and give it a good wash around there and see where actually if it's leaking oil, or maybe that's why the belt is getting wet and then throwing off the belt. So that's really it. We will give it a full grease as well, front axles and that, especially this time of year when you're working in mucky conditions. You just need to keep a little bit more grease into them, and we'll get that done on as well. So we're here with the Heva Disc Roller. Myself and Sean are, well, Sean is actually going to do the work here. I'm just going to hopefully tell him what to do, and he kind of knows what to do at this stage. So we're just doing a complete refurb on it now. We talked about this roller before. We had done some bearings in it. We decided by the time you buy the bearing, the seal, the washer, the nut, you can actually buy the hub. It comes complete, a little bit cheaper now. They're about €110 I think a pop, and we're after putting 20 of them I think on it. So it's not a cheap fix this, but at least it's done, and it's done forever, because we had constantly discs coming loose, and so it comes as such in a kit like that. Little instruction manual and a few different languages, and what way the assembly goes, fairly simple. We just pull that off the back of it, and that's our front cover. Just a bit of packing. That seal, that spacer sits in like so. Yep. Isn't that it? And then on the far side we have another little land that comes through on that side, and we have our seal sits into that groove. Yep. And then we've a washer, heavy washer, and a nut. So we'll just probably torque it till there is a little bit of movement in there.
Tighten it up to tight and then back it off, so you can just spin it like that.
Yeah, so once that it seems to be nice.
You don't want it solid now, you don't want to swing over the next and stop. You want to be able to...
No. They do have to have a little bit of free in them. And they will free out too. They're going to be tight initially, and we may have to review them in a while, but that's really it. So you have a good few to do there, you have a good few done, and keep you busy there for an hour or two, Sean, won't it? Yeah, so that's it. Once that's done on it, there's nothing really else in the disc roller. We had an eye leak in it before, internal. I think we have to take it off again because it's still leaking a small drop. And it looks worse there at the minute, but we'll get that done as well. And that's really it. Now, whether we get time to use it this year is another thing, with the weather the way it is. But great machine, I have to say, very, very handy there to have. And that's really it. There's nothing else on it then. Once you have the bearings done, that should be it. Out the door. Yep. So in this week's tool of the week we have...
Snap-on air hammer. Probably can't get any more expensive of a thing, but...
Roughly?
It's in around the 600-700.
Yeah.
But it's worth its weight in gold, really, because there's so many jobs on it that you'd be using that, like the blows per minute. I don't know what the exact figures are, but you'll be a long time in there with a hammer and chisel doing the work that this would do.
Yeah.
But the adapter that I have on this is nearly what is the best part about it, because I have chisel bits and blunt ends and whatnot, and they're brilliant and good, but this is my favourite end. So what you can do is, with these broken studs, we'll weld the nut onto the end. I have a deep socket here. I put a nut inside it so that the end of the socket's not hitting the head, it's all going into the nut. And here we have a spot for a 19mm spanner. When the socket's on it, you're putting all the impact into the stud and you'd wind it out with the hammer. And literally you'd put your finger on it and use the air hammer and you'd undo it, and you just back and forth, and it's just there's no effort into movement at all.
Well, I think you have one. Mick wants one now, so I think he has one on all of them. He's over there laughing, I know he's there. But yeah, a great tool to have, and that's it. That's for this week's tool of the week, the snap-on air hammer. Just one other thing there, when we have Kaylem here in the workshop, we know it was your 21st there last weekend, wasn't it?
It was.
I seen he was all over Facebook, all the comments were, I don't know where you were celebrating on here, but you had a good time.
I went up to Cabra Castle, it was grand. I didn't have a lad for going out drinking or whatnot, so I didn't have a big party or anything like that, just done my own thing.
Your family and friends.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, look, we just said we'd get you something small here. We actually had this kind of, we got it ready the last note, done it's not a bag of potatoes now, just in case you are. Even though you could do well with a bag of Finnegans, you couldn't go wrong there. Something that's small here that actually Cahill and Leahy got, and it's your own personalised spanners there.
Oh, be just.
So it's in the case and all there. So I think it says, best of luck, Kaylem.
You'll always be welcome at Finnegans Farm. Jeez, that's fantastic.
So that's something nice to have there, just up on the wall. Or just remember, man, that's for your 21st there. So.
Jeez, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for that.
So that's it for this week's Workshop Wednesday. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, and you will get a notification. So from everyone here at Finnegans Farm, we talk to you all next Wednesday.